I closed the last case file just as the city lights of New York began to glow outside my office windows. My phone buzzed on the desk. A voice message from Sophia Hayes. Her voice was playful, teasing. "Counselor, the bridal shop is about to close. If you don't come approve the final photos soon, this bride is going on strike." 15 minutes, I replied. "I'll pay the penalty if I'm late." I grabbed my suit jacket and hurried to the elevator. In 6 months, I was going to marry Sophia, my childhood best friend. And today was the day we were finalizing our wedding photos. My name is Ethan Cole. My parents run the massive coal corporation. But I never wanted that world of power struggles and backroom deals. I loved the law, fairness, justice. After law school, I turned down the chance to join the family empire and built my own firm instead. People thought I was crazy, but I didn't care. The company wasn't going anywhere, and my dad was still years away from retiring. Thanks to hard work and focus, the firm was thriving, and I had a life I was proud of. Sophia and I had grown up together. Our families were close, so we were too. Same schools, same neighborhood, countless memories. I still remember one summer afternoon when we were 7. "Ethan, you stole my lollipop again," she had shouted, stomping her little foot. I grinned with the strawberry lollipop in my mouth. "That's what you get for being slow. Catch me if you can." She chased me across her backyard, red-faced and furious, until I tripped. My arm before I fell, already checking if I was okay, and with Sophia mad 1 second, carrying the next. I pulled another lollipop from behind my back. "Relax, I had to. This one's yours." She grabbed it, eyes wide. "Fine, but if you ever do that again, I'm not talking to you." Later, swinging side by side, she suddenly asked, "Do you think we'll still be friends when we grow up?" "Of course," I said without hesitation. "We'll go to school together, then college, then I'll marry you, and we'll grow." Old together, her smile lit up her whole face. She stuck out her pinky. Promise, no take-backs. Years later, when we were 12, everything changed. Our families took a trip out west, near Jackson. That's when we met Leo Vance. Sophia had begged me to sneak off with her to the river. "Just 10 minutes, she promised. Before I could stop her, she ran ahead, chasing a butterfly. She slipped on a wet rock and fell into the rushing water. I dove after her, clinging to her wrist, but the current pulled us both under. I pushed her upward with everything I had. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. Sophia was at my side, eyes red from crying. "Ethan, you scared me so much. You were out for 3 days." Her father explained what happened. "Leo saved you both. He refused to leave the hospital until you woke up." A thin boy stepped into the room, shy and nervous. That was our first meeting with Leo. Later, I learned his parents had passed, and he lived in poverty with his grandmother. Sophia's father decided to sponsor him, even bringing him back to New York for school. Just like that, our little world of 2 became 3. Leo grew up sharp, determined, always excelling in school. Eventually, he joined Hayes Global as Sophia's assistant. For over a decade, I tried to ignore a strange feeling about him. Even though I never forgot the gap in my memory from the accident, a sharp ding from the elevator brought me back to the present. I glanced at my phone. The lock screen was a selfie. Sophia had taken in a wedding dress, fingers forming a little heart. Adorable as always. Then, a notification popped up on Instagram post from Leo. He was lying in my and Sophia's bed, on the sheets we'd picked out together, with a caption, "My sister is so kind, letting me experience what it feels like too." Be a newlywed, my grip on the phone tightened. Anger flared. I checked the time. Sophia was still at the bridal shop waiting for me. Did she know about this? I drove straight to our house in Crestwood Estates, the fingerprint lock clicking open. The master bedroom door was ajar, the sheets messy. My stomach dropped. Just then, Sophia called. "Ethan, what's taking so long?" she asked. "Why does Leo have the code to our house?" My voice was colder than I meant. "What? That's impossible. Oh, wait, I remember now. I left a file at home last week and gave him a temporary code to grab it. I must have forgotten to delete it." I let out a bitter laugh. "Didn't just go inside. He posted about it." "What? I don't see anything." "Of course not. He only shared it with me, trying to stir up trouble. Her tone softened. Ethan, wait, I'm coming. No, I cut her off. Stay there. Finish your fitting, I'll handle it. I messaged Leo. Where are you? His reply came instantly. At the coffee shop near your place. What's up? And when I arrived, he was standing outside, acting casual. Didn't expect to see you, Ethan. What's going on? I shoved my phone in his face. What's the meaning of this? He smirked. Exactly what it looks like. Sophia is generous. She thought I should know what it feels like to live like you.
Don't take it so seriously.
Drop the act. My voice was sharp, and he instinctively backed away. His eyes lit up with a twisted excitement. Are you so sure she loves you? She remembers every detail about me, my allergies, my favorite books. I've been in love with her since the day I met her, and one day I'll have her. Rage boiled over. I grabbed his collar. Stay away from her, he sneered. The one who isn't loved is always the outsider. Your whole relationship is just a family arrangement. Before I could respond, a voice called out, Leo, what are you doing? Sophia. Leo's demeanor flipped instantly. He threw himself backward, hitting the ground, eyes watery. I'm sorry, Sophia. I just said Ethan looked tired, and maybe he should take better care of you. He overreacted. It's my fault. Clenched my fists, furious at his act. Sophia rushed to me first, checking I was okay. When she saw I was fine, her face hardened as she turned to Leo. Who gave you permission to enter my and Ethan's home? Leo looked hurt. Sophia, you must be misunderstanding something. I've never been inside. Why are you being so harsh today? You didn't even call me Leo. I almost laughed. You didn't just go inside. You posted a picture to provoke me. I held up my phone to show her my feed, but the post was gone. Leo looked at me with wide, innocent eyes. Ethan, I know you don't like me, but you can't just make up things like that to hurt me. Before Leo could continue, Sophia had her phone out and was making a call. Carla, get a cleaning crew to 88 Crestwood Lane. I want every piece of furniture, every decorative item, everything replaced. Have it done by noon tomorrow. She hung up and took my arm. Ethan, let's go. The color drained from Leo's face. Sophia, you don't believe me? Sophia glanced back at him. Leo, I don't know if you're smart or just foolish. Have you never heard of a screenshot? But even without one, I believe Ethan. Leo scrambled to his feet to follow us, then clutched his knee as if in pain, desperation in his eyes. I was wrong. I had my reasons. Curious, I stopped. Oh. And what reason would require you to be in someone else's house? Leo lowered his head. My grandmother, she's not well. She's always wanted me to marry soon. I just wanted to take a few pictures in your house to trick her into thinking I had a fiancé and that we were preparing our new home. Sophia didn't bother entertaining his excuse. She didn't look back. I don't want to hear more. Out of gratitude for what you did years ago, I've always looked out for you. I was willing to overlook small mistakes. But today you challenged. Ethan, you crossed the line. Her voice was sharp as glass. Don't use that debt as a bargaining chip. This is your one and only warning. As the evening breeze carried away the sound of Leo's fading sobs, Sophia suddenly let out a small laugh. Ethan, how come he didn't doubt me for a second? Her eyes shone as she looked at me, waiting. I smiled. Because I know a pretender. When I see one, he probably believes in those silly stories where one small misunderstanding ruins everything. He thinks I'd just keep it inside instead of talking to my fiancé. Sophia snorted. Admit, he's competent at work. I gave him more responsibility, and maybe it fed his delusions. I pulled her into my arms. So, Sophia, what are you going to do about it? She smiled. Her efficiency was unmatched. Less than 30 minutes later, it was handled. I've already had him transferred to another department. Dad said we couldn't fire him outright because of what happened back then. My new assistant is Mrs. Gable's daughter. And to be safe, I'm never hiring a male assistant again. Sophia playfully tapped my nose. I can't have my husband getting the wrong idea with no one to defend me. I placed my hand over hers. What if he doesn't back down? Then let him try, she said firmly. Today's stunt canceled out any debt we owed him. If he tries anything else, our legal department won't be forgiving. 3 days later, I was in a conference room with a new client, Kay, a polished-looking woman who introduced herself as Monica Lane. Mr. Cole, that company scammed me out of $800,000. Her voice cracked, and she began to sob. I can't even make rent. I pushed the tissue box toward her. Ms. Lane, would you mind providing the bank statements and the contract? Of course, they're right here. As she bent over to get her bag, she suddenly lunged forward. In a staged gesture, making herself look as if I had been inappropriate, at the exact same moment, the conference room door burst open. Leo stood there, phone in hand, recording. His voice trembled with fake shock. Sophia, look, it's Ethan. Ethan, darling, you promised you were going to marry me. Monica cried out, collapsing into fake tears. You told me your engagement to Sophia Hayes was just a business arrangement. You said you loved me. Leo rushed toward me, pretending anguish. I knew it. Ethan, how could you do this to Sophia? I pushed Monica aside, straightened my suit, and looked directly at Sophia, saying nothing. Sophia leaned against the doorframe, her eyes cutting to Leo. Leo, so you're telling me this is the woman you saw Ethan with? The one at a hotel? Leo sighed dramatically. Yes, Sophia it is. I tried to talk sense into him, but he said he had no feelings for you. He claimed it was all obligation to his parents. Sophia's gaze swept over Leo's face before softening as she turned to me. Ethan, I want to hear your side. And remember, whatever you say, I'll believe you. I scoffed and opened the security app on my phone. The live feed showed the stage setup. After last week, I had cameras installed across the office. Do I need to forward this to the police? Monica's face went pale. She scrambled up and pointed at Leo. It was him. Duh. He paid me $5,000. He told me to expose Ethan. Lying. Why would I ever do that? Leo cried. Ethan, I already got demoted. Isn't that enough after I once helped you at the river? Why can't you leave me alone? Enough. Why? Sophia's voice was ice. I warned you it was your final chance. As of this moment, you're no longer an employee of Hayes Global. Any debt is cleared. Security. Guards grabbed Leo and Monica. Leo shouted desperately. Sophia, you'll regret this. People will say you're ungrateful. Sophia took my arm, her voice quiet but firm. Go. I never want to see you again. Through the glass doors, Leo's face finally disappeared, but we had underestimated him. It was the night before our wedding. Sophia was home, following tradition, when my phone rang. Mr. Cole, the hotel manager's frantic voice said, the ballroom flowers have been destroyed, the champagne tower knocked over, and someone is making a scene with a photo. I rushed to the hotel with my guards. Outside, Leo stood on the steps, holding a fake photo, his arms edited around Sophia in her wedding dress. Below him, a banner screamed, the 1% forces a marriage, a bride stolen. Everyone look. He pointed at me. This man is forcing Sophia into marriage. She already promised to marry me. We even have wedding photos. He ripped open his shirt to show a mark and shouted, she was with me last night. Tomorrow she's being forced to marry this man. Help me stop this fraud. Then he charged toward me. Get him out of here, I said calmly. My bodyguard seized him as he shouted, don't touch me. Ethan Cole is the fraud. All of you are witnesses. But the crowd didn't move. An older man finally muttered, son, we're just here for the free entertainment. Nobody's getting involved. Others laughed. With Photoshop, who knows if your photo is even real? Someone pointed out, the shoulders in your picture don't match the real wedding portrait inside. And honestly, you don't even look like that in person, the crowd whispered, some even laughing. Leo's face turned red as he screamed, you're all just a bunch of pathetic, spineless sheep. The police will be here any minute. Sophia's voice sliced through the noise as she strode into the crowd in high heels. Her white blouse flawless, her face set with fury. Intentional destruction of property, public defamation, and fabricating. Evidence, she said coldly. Those 3 charges should be enough to give you some time in a holding cell.
Ow!
The moment Leo saw her, His bravado melted. His expression shifted to pleading. Sophia, I only did it because I love you so much. I was desperate. Love is not an excuse to break the law. She turned to the crowd with a calm, professional smile and pulled a document from her purse. This is our marriage certificate. Ethan Cole and I have been together for years and will be officially celebrating our wedding tomorrow. This man has been harassing us repeatedly. We would appreciate it if you all serve as witnesses to this. The crowd jeered at Leo. Get lost, creep. Stop punching above your weight. Trying to turn us against her husband? Pathetic. Leo's face collapsed into defeat as the police dragged him toward the car. He kept looking back at Sophia, but she had already turned and thrown her arms around me, her body trembling slightly. That bastard was trying to stir up a mob against you, she whispered. Thank God people here had more sense than the characters in those trashy stories. I'm sorry. Should have ended this sooner, she murmured, her voice muffled against my chest, her hair damp with sweat. I kissed the top of her head. As long as we trust each other, no scheme will ever work. This pathetic drama is over. The hotel staff repaired the damage overnight. The next day, Sophia and I were married without a hitch. Later, I heard Leo was sentenced to 15 days in jail for disorderly conduct. Every second deserved. We cleared our schedules completely and spent 2 blissful months on honeymoon when we returned. Sophia sat in her office opening an email from her secretary. It was a report on Leo. The photo attached showed a broken man hunched on a filthy sofa in a grimy studio apartment. He was unshaven, disheveled, nothing like the polished young man he once was. He lost his job but was too proud to take anything. Smaller, Sophia said, tapping the screen. Now he's drinking away what's left on credit. I wrapped my arms around her waist, inhaling her perfume. Does it scare you? I asked, resting my chin on her shoulder. If he had just been patient, played the part a little longer. Impossible. She turned to face me. He was always an outsider. Even if he kept the mask, he'd never have had access to what truly matters. I'm not some naive CEO from a cheap romance novel. I kissed her hand. It's my fault. I get too jealous. I hate anyone else near you. Her smile faded slightly. We still need to be careful. A desperate man does desperate things. He can't even pay rent now. There's no telling what. He might try. I've already hired full-time undercover security, I told her, helping her with her coat. Ex-special forces. More than enough to handle a sewer rat like him. She nodded. Our eyes met, sharing an unspoken understanding. The first weekend after our honeymoon was bright and sunny. Sophia and I walked in Central Park. She held cotton candy, teasing me with bites. When we reached the lake pavilion, she tugged my sleeve. Ethan, my feet are tired. Let's sit. We settled on a stone bench, her head on my shoulder. Her phone in her hand ready to post a photo when she froze. A man in a baseball cap was charging at me. Something sharp glinting in his hand, Sophia gasped. But I pulled her behind me. I felt no panic, only grim satisfaction. Security had been the right move. Before he reached us, 2 bodyguards appeared from the crowd like predators. They tackled him, disarmed him, and pinned him to the ground. I pulled off his cap and mask, revealing Leo's twisted, hate-filled face. I should have known, I sneered. Didn't jail teach you anything, Leo? He thrashed in their grip, his eyes wild. Ethan Cole, you're nothing without your family name. I'm smarter, better in every way. Wait, why does he get Sophia? While I'm left with nothing? Why couldn't you just die like you were supposed to? The crowd gathered, murmuring. Sophia stepped forward, her eyes blazing. My family gave you an education, a career, and you repay us by trying to destroy us again and again. No conscience? Conscience, Leo spat. You're the ungrateful ones. If I hadn't dragged you from that river, you'd both be dead. And now you throw me away like trash. Where's the justice? It was our mistake for being too naive, Sophia replied coldly. I never imagined someone could twist a good deed into a weapon. I raised an eyebrow. Soft. Did you get the results back? Yes, she said, showing me her phone. Leo sneered. Don't tell me you're denying I saved you. You monsters. We looked at the email together. Sophia's face hardened. I just laughed. To think our families were fooled by a child for so many years. Throw him in the lake, Sophia said quietly. The guards obeyed, dragging him to the edge and kicking him into the water. Help! I can't swim, Sophia. Ethan, are you trying to kill me? At her nod, a guard tossed him a rope. He grabbed it, gasping as he crawled back to shore, only to be bound tightly again. From the ground, he screamed to the crowd, "When I was a kid, I saved them from drowning. And now they steal my wife, reject me because I'm poor, and want me dead." But instead of sympathy, he was met with laughter. A little girl peeked from behind her mother. "Mister, you're lying. You said you can't swim, but now you claim you saved people from a river. That makes no sense. You should be ashamed." The crowd erupted in ridicule. Leo's face drained of color. Sophia pulled up a video. The mayor of his hometown spoke clearly. That kid was terrified of water, wouldn't cross a bridge, never. Learned to swim. Sophia glared down at him. You spun a lie so big no one thought a child capable of it. We fell for it. And using your dead grandmother as an excuse to sneak into our home? Heartless? The crowd's disgust was palpable. Leo's shoulders slumped. It's true. You were already unconscious on the riverbank when I found you. I was going to call for help, but your parents showed up and assumed. I almost confessed, but Ethan couldn't remember anything. I just wanted to see what I could get. I squeezed Sophia's trembling shoulder. So you lived off us. You took money. Respect even thought you deserved her. Leo snapped his head toward me, and what if I did? I loved her from the start. Why shouldn't she be mine? Sirens grew louder. He turned desperately to Sophia. Sophia, all these years, is there ever a moment? Did you care for me, even a little? Sophia's grip tightened on my hand. Family wealth aside, Ethan remembers every single thing about me. My favorite songs, foods, colors, every detail. You never bothered to truly know me, not even once. One who stays up all night changing cold compresses when I'm sick with a fever. The one who secretly slips the last piece of cake into my bag just so I'll find it later and smile. She looked down at Leo on the ground. You, on the other hand, have only ever taken from my family. And even the one thing I thought you gave me saving my life turned out to be a lie. Not to mention, she added, Ethan is kinder, more capable, and has always been there for me. Why would you ever believe I would choose you? Did you really imagine life was like one of those stories where a woman in my position falls for someone who only brings her pain? As the police led him away, Leo kept muttering, I just loved her. Sophia collapsed into my arms, her tears soaking my shirt, her voice trembling. Ethan, I know it was you who saved me that day. You must have forgotten because of your illness, but fate had tied us together from the very beginning. I smiled, lifting her face gently and brushing away her tears. Silly girl, we've been tied together since the first time you shared your candy with me. 3 months later, I sat with Sophia at her doctor's appointment. The words 8 weeks. Pregnant on the ultrasound report lit up her eyes. She traced the image of the little grainy photo, her smile soft and tearful. Look, our little one has such a strong heartbeat. You're going to be brave, just like their father. The following year, our daughter's first cries filled the delivery room. Sophia, exhausted but glowing, insisted on being the one to place a tiny gold bracelet I had made onto our daughter's wrist. Inside, I had engraved her initials, CSC, Charlotte Sophia Cole. As for Leo, his crimes caught up with him. The charges were heavy, and he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. I later heard he struggled there, but by then, his path no longer had anything to do with us. One evening, Sophia stood by the window, holding our daughter. She turned to me with the warmest smile I had ever seen. I walked over, wrapping them both in my arms. Our life together was only just beginning.